If
This
anybody
conference
has
will
a
now be recorded.
concern on that, like this session is started with recording. Okay. Um, to start off, this is a session on PMP certification overview from Refer.me Group. Refer.me Group takes the pride of having a network of 60,000 plus professionals, ranging from QAs to managers. And going further specifically on the session, PMP certification, right? It is most majorly on the project management side, where we understand the skills of strategy and other management skills. This session will be led by Shubha R. Shubha will be our trainer for the day, and she has been amazing in her career all through. She has an 18 plus years of experience, and she has completed multiple complex projects and having a training experience of 250 plus hours. She also trained around 100 plus individuals across geos, including India, US, and other European countries. Hmm, before going for the demo itself, right? There are set of ground rules or house rules, right? So participants will be muted right after this, and you can unmute yourself in case if you have any question. Second thing is, let's keep this one as interactive as possible. Please do share if you have any feedback or any questions, anything in between. There'll be breaks, or in case if you have anything, you can also drop a note in the chat box. I'll be taking it up in whenever there is a break given in between the slides, right, or as part of questions. That's majority of the things I had from moderator point of view. Any questions till now?
No questions, Sandeep. Thanks.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Okay. With no further delay, I'll be handing it over to Shubha. Shubha, you can start with the presentation. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Thank you, Sandeep. I will go ahead, share my screen. Please do let me know when you can see my screen.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, we can see
Okay.
your screen.
Okay. So next 1 hour, what we would be really doing is the webinar on PMP certification overview. When I say PMP certification overview, it's just the bird's view of what PMP certification is. What is it that is in for you by having PMP certification done? And what are few things that you need to know before you go ahead for the certification? All right. With that, I'll start with agenda. So next 45 minutes to 50 minutes, we will just go through these 4 items in general, right? Introduction, what and why of PMP, what is the role of a project manager, typically in any project in our day-to-day interaction, and what are the prerequisites for the certification itself. Okay. So introduction, I think we all heard from Sandeep saying what is Refer.me Group all about. It's a network of professionals who are varied from different skill sets and different background and has been in industry for more than 4 years. There are various trainings and webinars conducted by Refer.me Group. To name a few, AWS, ML, AI, these are few trainings that are conducted. And PMP, we are starting with webinar now, followed by training with whoever is interested. Right. And about myself, thanks Sandeep for the quick introduction. Going little further into that, I have played different roles in my career. I have been a developer, system integrator, system engineer, and then moved on to project management, agile coach, scrum master, and now safe agilist, safe practitioner. So these are a few things that I have played in my career, right? As I said, I'm PMP certified. I'm certified scrum master, safe practitioner, and safe agilist. And PMP personally has helped me navigate to different organizations, and not just that, right? It has helped me build my network. So with this quick introduction, I will move on to what the PMP is all about, the introduction about PMP itself, right? PMP is basically stands for Project Management Professional and is a well known globally recognized certificate from PMI. What is PMI? Project Management Institute. And what's PMI? Again, it's a non-profit organization for project management. It's a body of people who are working towards having project management move to the next ladder to make sure every single project that is handled globally, irrespective of the industry, is a success, right? That's the whole intent of this project management institute itself. And as I said, it's a non-profit organization. And there are multiple other certifications which are provided by PMI, not just PMP. So there are CAMP, basically Certified Associate in Project Management, which is a level lower than PMP. PGMP, which is Program Management Institute, Program Management Professional. PFMP, which is Portfolio Management Professional. What's the difference between program management and portfolio management? These are few things which we will definitely cover when we get started with the training itself. What is PMI ACP? That's basically into the Agile Certified Practitioner. With the whole world moving towards Agile, PMI said along with PMP, maybe it makes sense for us to have Agile management also, Agile Certified Practitioners also lined up into our ladder of people who are certified, and that's how ACP is also into picture now. So these are few certifications apart from PMP, which is provided by PMI. And onto the versions and the path in which PMI has grown. Basically, all of this PMP certification starts with something called a PMBOK. And what is PMBOK? It's project management body of knowledge. Why is it called body of knowledge? As I said, it's again a group of people who are striving towards making sure project is success irrespective of the industry and the region or in the world in which the project is conducted. So people gather together and understand what is it that is challenging, what do we need to do to make sure project is a success, and what are the things that we need to enhance as in when we move in our industry, right? And that's how ACP got included, right? So it started in 1996 with first edition. As of today, we are on sixth edition, right? And then let's say you are getting certified in sixth edition. Does it mean that when we have new edition of PMBOK, do you have to get certified again? Answer is a simple no. With every certification that is done, irrespective of the edition in which you are taking the certification, all you need to do is just maintain your PDUs. What's PDU again? It's a professional development unit, which is required for you to continue with your PMP certification validity. And you will have to acquire 60 PDUs over a period of 3 years. How do we get PDUs? It is definitely continuing in your profession. It could be attending webinars, seminars. It could be a PM conference, which is done by multiple chapters. For us, in Bangalore, there is Bangalore PMI chapter. So like this, there are multiple conferences that are coming up. So you attend that, you get PDUs. And your PMP certification is valid irrespective of the edition we are in. Okay. And again, as I said, study material is PMBOK, Project Management Body of Knowledge, and is provided by PMI. Any other reference material that you would probably get on internet, or someone is sharing the knowledge, someone is providing training, it's all for knowledge only, and it definitely is not a substitute material for PMBOK. Okay, any questions on introduction before we move on to the next slides?
No, I think there is no question, Shubha.
Hey,
Okay.
Shubha, this is Raghav here. One question. Say, for example, I am already a certified person. So I want to, once in 2 years or 3 years, we need to take some PDUs or some tests, to ensure that our certification carried on. Can you
Okay,
just tell us?
so yeah, sure. So there are no exams, certifications, etc. that you need to retake. But as I said, we need to maintain our PDUs. And how do we get PDUs? Webinars by REPs, webinars which are recognized by PMI. You could attend project management conference. Continuing in your profession itself gives you 15 PDUs for 3 years. And then it actually falls into one of the 3 triangles, talent triangles. It's called as talent triangles. It falls into either strategic talent triangle, talent ladder, leadership, or technical. And it has to be a balance. Out of 60 PDUs, you need to have equal PDUs in all these 3 brackets. Strategic should be 20 PDUs, leadership should be 20, and 20 should be in technical. So once you're certified, you do not have to retake any more certification, but you just have to maintain these PDUs and renew your PMP certification. When I say renew, you just have to go and declare your PDUs in CRS. CRS is the system where they actually build your PMP certification.
Thank you very much.
Okay, if there are no more further questions, I'll move to the next slide. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can
Yes.
hear you. I think
Okay, okay. Okay, why and what of PMP, right? Why, what and why of PMP? As I said, PMP certification is well-recognized certifications which prepares you in such a way that you are not only evaluating your own skill set and talent, but also helps in evaluating the talent of other people, right? And what does that make you? It makes you a leader by choice. Let me get a little deeper into this statement. Whenever a project begins, it's the project manager who actually makes sure that there is right people with the right skill set in the right time, right? And then what in the process, what is happening is that you are assessing the skill and talent of other people, right? So it's not your own skill set that you are enhancing, but you're also assessing and helping people grow in your organization. So thereby it makes you leader by choice. People look up to you, and then you are becoming leader by choice with PMP certification. And when you get into the project management itself, and again, PMI has huge professionals network which will help you connect with each other, and hence you will have enhanced career opportunities. As I said, after PMP, there is program management, portfolio management. There is also PMI championship that you could tie up with PMI. There are multiple activities that happen in parallel. There are volunteering systems that where you can go and help contribute to PMI. You could evaluate few sessions that go on. You could evaluate white papers that are written. So there are multiple activities that go on in PMI, and that definitely helps you build your network, and that will open up career opportunities for you, right? And not just that, right? There has been multiple surveys and statistics conducted, and PMI is still considered one of the top 10 certificates, and it's recognized worldwide. Whether you take PMP certification in Bangalore, Delhi, Europe, US, it's still valid. Everyone recognizes it across globally wherever you go with the PMP certification. It's not geo-specific, it's not industry-specific, it is agnostic of geo, industry, and the project you're running. What is valid for construction industry with PMP certification is still valid for automobile, is valid for aviation and IT, right? So it's one of the certificate where people recognize it across the globe. And not just that, right? You will be able to work on multiple roles in the world of agile as well. And why do I say in the world of agile, PMP or a project manager will be able to dwell into any other roles? In agile, as most of us know, there are three major roles. One is team member, one is scrum master, and one is product owner. What does product owner do? He or she gets the business value driven decisions, prioritizes the request into user stories, features, initiative, themes, call it whatever you want in your own word. But the prioritization happens based on the business value. And then he or she comes and explains the need of this to be delivered in a committed timeline to the team. And Scrum Master makes sure removes every impediments. They remove the roadblocks, make sure we deliver to the committed timeline, plans and executes the project as per the commitment. And if you see, this is exactly what project manager does in the role of project manager in the word of waterfall model. So a project manager who has been uh, doing the project management role can easily dwell into product owner role or into the scrum master role, and that navigation is going to be a very simple one compared to people who just probably are scrum certified and want to, let's say, want to get into the role of product owner or vice versa. versa. The project manager, whether consciously you do it or subconsciously you're doing it, is okay. I take it as no. All right. Let's now get into the what is the role of a project manager.
You are not audible, Subha.
Yeah. Shubha,
Shubha,
I
I think
think
we
so
lost you in between.
there's a break.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you start from the slide, Shubha?
Yeah. All right. Now, after I explained how a project manager would be able to seamlessly integrate into the role of a product owner or a scrum master, I will get into the typical role of a project manager. Okay, what are the skill set or what is it that is needed for a project manager, right? Manager definitely would be a good leader, and I said why you become a good leader. You don't just assess your own skills and talents and grow in your career. You're also helping people grow their skill set, assess their talent and skills, and help them grow. So you are by choice becoming a leader. You definitely have to be a good communicator, negotiator, well organized, and a quick decision maker. And I'll get into these details a little bit in a later slide in detail. But these are the few things that a good project manager will definitely need to know, will do, whether consciously or subconsciously. These are things that are definitely done, right? And to get little more into this, what makes a project manager different than the rest of the team, right? It is the project manager who gets the overall view of the project in terms of business value, in terms of risk, in terms of what is the earned value versus spent value, what is the cost variance, what are the things that we foresee as risk which could not be mitigated, which cannot be mitigated. All these things truly only a project manager gets to know. Team members definitely are contributing to the execution, there is no doubt, but they're handling at the module level, component, subcomponent, name it whatever you want, but that is limited at few models only, but not the overview of the project. So it's the project manager who gets the overall understanding of the project, make sure the project is delivered end to end. This makes project managers stand out from rest of the team. Any questions here? Okay. Now, these are the different roles, knowledge a project manager plays, and let's see what are the different knowledge areas that PMBOK has, right? And I'll get into a little more detail, probably just to give an understanding of what happens in scope management. In scope management, we define as a project manager, we define the scope, manage it, document, validate, and control scope. And these are actually different process areas that are already called out in PMBOK. So why do you need to define and control scope? Let's say today we agree on to deliver, maybe I'll just pick up metro construction as an example, right? We say by 2021, stretch between, let's say, one end to the other end of the city is covered. And then imagine if there is, you're not controlling the scope as a project manager, they say, hey, why don't you stretch it to another 10 kilometers, another 20 kilometers? That's definitely a creep in the scope that has happened. As a project manager, it is our responsibility to make sure we control scope, we define what will be done in that given timeline with the triple constraints that we have. What are the triple constraints? Cost, time, and quality. With the triple constraints that we have, how do we control the scope? This truly is the responsibility of the project manager. While rest of the team help you execute, you are responsible for making sure scope creep does not occur too frequent in in the project and hence delay in the project, right? There are few situations where you definitely cannot help the scope creep, but how do you control it? That's what actually a project manager does, right? And then cost management. Um, how much is required for this cost for this entire project to be completed? You need to plan, estimate, you need to make sure you have that budget approved in place, and then you also control the project cost. What happens if you have begun your project and there is no cost approved? Obviously your project is hanging. And is your timeline going to shift? Definitely not. So these are few things that a project manager definitely will keep in mind when we start with the project. And then we will move on to the time management. Why is this very important? You need to sequence the task, assign in such a way that the dependencies are taken care. Okay. And not just that, there is always, you need to make sure that the project is either finishing on time or ahead of time. Ahead of time is always welcome, but continuous slip on deliverables is not accepted, right? I mean, imagine someone is waiting for a critical business project to be delivered and you go and give last minute unpleasant surprise of, hey, it is going to push by another, let's say, 3 weeks. I don't think anyone would like that, right? So it becomes important that we do proper time management, we deliver on time or ahead of time, and we could use different techniques. What are these techniques? PERT, CPM, to name a few. Again, we can get into these details when we get started with the chapter.
Shubhoy, again, your voice is not audible.
Hey Shubha, can you hear it?
Shubha, you are not audible.
I think so. She has some network break or something. I'll just check with her. Just give me a second.
Sure.
This conference
Yeah,
will
we
now
could.
be recorded.
Thank you. I'm sorry once again for the network glitches. I'm not sure till where you could hear, but I'm assuming you could hear me till quality management.
You want to recap a bit and start with
Yeah,
time
sure.
management?
I will do that. Yeah. Why should a project manager be worried about time management, right? It is to make sure, and who is responsible for time management to begin with? It's definitely a project manager. And why is it important? Because unless you sequence, unless you assign tasks in such a way that these dependencies are called out ahead of time, thought through ahead of time. Let's say for a project to begin with, for a task to begin, let's say task B can only start after task A has completed, right? So all these things will be thought through, put into a proper scheduling, sequencing of task, and then that's why time management gets important. What are the different techniques, tools available? It could be first start, first start, first in, or FIFO, things like that, right? Different techniques are there. And to arrive at, when exactly can this project be completed or this task can be completed so that the next task can begin on time. So we use different techniques called PERT, CPM, etc., which we will definitely dwell into when we get into the training itself on project management. Any questions here? Because I lost connection. I'm sorry. Did you have any questions till now? I will get into quality and resource management definitely, but till now, do you have any questions? Okay, I
There
assume
was
not.
one question on chat.
Sure.
Shiva, there was one question on chat based on the eligibility on
Oh,
what is the
eligibility, I will
requirement.
definitely, yeah, I will get into that. That's covered in the upcoming slides.
Perfect.
Okay. Now let's see why quality management is important, right? I mean, you have absolutely planned everything, delivered on time or ahead of time, bingo. But there are a lot of issues in production. Is that a successful project? I think it's no brainer, right? It's definitely not a successful project. So whose responsibility does it ultimately? Yeah, there is QA team, there are QA, there are enough testing, automation, manual, whatever technique, right? Functional integration testing, everything taken care. But then who is ultimately responsible and who sees that overview of what is the impact if we do not do this kind of testing? It's definitely a project manager, right? You could release project on time, ahead of time, with n number of production issues. That's not going to help the project, that's not going to help anyone. So it is PM's responsibility to ensure that the quality is built into the project. Okay, and then on to the resource management. Why is resource management important for any project? To begin with, if you do not have people with right skill set in right domain and in the right time, no matter what you plan, put sequence of tasks, you control scope, you have enough budget approved, you have make sure quality is built in, there are different techniques that you can make sure you automate, manually test it, do whatever you want. But ultimately, unless you have resources in the right time with the right skill set and right domain knowledge, I don't think project will be successful. Project is driven out of the team, and team has to come together. The project manager overall makes sure it is taken care. Unless he or she puts into the thought of what exactly is expected out of the resource, I don't think project will be successful. And this is also one of the key responsibility of project manager. Moving on to the communication. Why is communication okay? All right. Why is communication important? Let's say tomorrow there is scope creep. Who will the stakeholders reach out to? It's project manager. And then we are towards the end of completing the project. You as a project manager go deliver this news. Hey guys, there is scope creep. We need to handle this. Do you think team would welcome that? Definitely no. It is hence very important that the project manager plays the bridge between stakeholders, team managers, and definitely your own upper management in the organization. And communication is one of the key things that as a project manager you would be doing to make sure you bridge the gap between stakeholder, upper management, and team itself, right? And then does it mean you can always be paint rosy picture? Definitely not. You need to be transparent, honest, have the right communication done to the right people in the right time. And what does this ultimately lead to, right? You are doing the risk management. All this put together, if you do not foresee the risk ahead of time, if you do not know how to mitigate the risk, if you do not know what is it that you're going to ask for help, which is beyond your control, maybe from upper management, maybe from your team itself, maybe from your stakeholders. If you do not ask for right help in the right time and you do not know how to mitigate the risk, you might have put everything else in place, right? Unless you do this risk management, your project will not be a success. Again, this is one of the key things a project manager has to do in a day-to-day life. Is there a time when you start with risk management and close risk? Definitely you call out the risk at the beginning of the project. You call out how do you mitigate, but you will also make sure that you revisit them at a regular interval during the throughout the life cycle of the project. And hence, project manager is responsible for scope, cost, time, quality, resource, communication. Is this all? No, definitely not. There is procurement management. And then how do you actually do this? You integrate all of this. That's called as integration management. How do you make sure there is scope, time, quality, and then again, these are triple constraints. And then you have to make sure you have right resources, communication, risk. At any point, who manages the dashboard of the project? How is it all integrated together? That's integration management, and that's again the role of the project manager. And this is why I said This is the key difference between the rest of the team members and the project manager. Rest of the team members, let's say, and just speaking quality management, right? QA is definitely focused, dedicated to make sure you deliver product with right quality, right? But their scope is just limited to quality, right? And resource management, maybe you reach out to HR, they make sure you get right resources in time, but their scope is just limited to that. It is a project manager who gets the visibility of entire project, manages everything starting from scope till integration, and then also responsible from creation of project charter till the closure of the project. Any questions in this? All right, I'll move to the next slide. What's the eligibility for PMP certification? I think this came up in one of the chat questions also. There are two different categories. If you're a non-graduate, you need to have 5 years of experience in handling project. Is it project management? No, it is not project manager 5 years. It's your industry experience where you would have executed the project, either controlled, monitored the project, but you need to have 5 years or 7,500 hours of experience with 35 hours of training. And for graduates, it is 3 years or 4,500 hours and 35 hours of training. Training hours remains the same irrespective of its graduate or non-graduate, but the difference is with the working experience itself. And what's a passing score? Earlier, before 6th edition, and 6th edition started last year, by the way, PMI said 61% of 200 questions, which is 102 questions, is what you need to clear to pass your exam. But now with 6th edition, they don't disclose the passing score, which means all the more hard work is required for us to complete the certification. And I already touched upon this. Once you actually get certified, you still need to maintain your certification, which is you need to accumulate 60 PDUs for 3 years. And how do you get PDUs? I touched upon this already by attending seminars, PMI workshops, PMI chapter conferences, and giving back to the profession itself. So this is about eligibility on PMP certification. Did that answer your question? I'm not sure who asked that question, but did that answer your question?
Yes, Shubha.
Okay,
Yes,
awesome.
Shubha, that answers my question.
Cool, thank you. I'll move on to the last but one slide. How will you want to be part of this community who contributes to the project end to end? Do you want to be certified? Then only option, whether you are 10 years, 12 years, 13 years, 20 years in the industry, you still have to attend the training. You still have to accumulate that 35 hours of training, and then you can get started with your studying and get certified. With that, I'll open up for Q&A. Any questions?
So, Shubha, it's a good, interesting presentation. Question around the eligibility. Someone who is working in a different domain, like a business analyst or maybe something to do with a support functions. How is it going to help them? On the certification.
Yeah. So everyone somewhere in their career definitely want to grow, right? I mean, business analyst, solution analyst, QA lead, technical lead, sometime down the line they would want to grow and get into the ladder of management. And then trust me, this is one of the quickest way to get into the ladder of management. Why so? Because I said once you start handling the project, you're not only enhancing your skills, but you're also helping others grow, right? And thereby people look up to you as leader. So once they're looking up to you as leader, you're definitely going to go enhance your skill sets on as leader, and hence by choice you're becoming a leader. So it could be solution analyst, it could be tech lead, development lead, or it could be QA lead. Anyone who wants to navigate to the next ladder in their career, this is one of the quickest way to do, because really you do not just control the project, you are growing the team and thereby growing yourself.
Thanks, Shubha.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, if there are no other questions, I will conclude this webinar with my favorite quote by Colin Powell, which says there are no secrets to success. It is just a result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure. So though PMP certification is considered to be one of the toughest certification, there is no dearth of people who can train you, who can help you, who can guide you, coach you to make sure you have right preparation with your hard work, and then in the process we learn how to grow ahead together. Thank you, guys.
Shubha, I
Awesome.
have one question.
Uh,
It was a fantastic session. So, in terms of a PMP, if I'm going to do PMP, right? So, I have close to 13 years of experience in IT. So, how
Mhm.
this is going to mold my career? It is the side. So, how this is going to mold my career, and what kind of I will say growth in my career, current opportunity, and if this is going to be enhanced, then why people are not going for a PMP? I mean, what is the difference? Like people are going for CSM or PSM, these certifications. So, what is the advantage of PMP over there?
Okay, I will answer this question in two parts, right? One is why people are going with CSM, CPO certification versus PMP, right? Um, to answer your first part, yes, people are moving towards agile, and that's how I said if you're a project manager, you could get into either product owner role or scrum master role. If you're, let's say, certified scrum master, which I am myself certified scrum master, right?
We are not
hey, is
able
it
to
audible?
hear you.
We lost you again, Shubha.
Yeah.
Ouch. Let me recheck with Shubha on that.
I guess today is some issue at her side. Otherwise, usually
Yeah,
she
there was
doesn't
a
talk.
power outage message which was floating. I'm just scared that should not be the one which is impacting.
Yeah, yeah. So
Mm,
it's okay. I mean, in IT, we can see such kind of situations all the time.
yeah, I think so. These are the situations where you can handle if you are like PMP certified in electricity board. Probably give prior notification.
Yeah.
Um, I see she is able to access the screen. Shubha,
Okay.
can you hear?
Yeah, can you hear me? I
Yes, yes,
Can you
yeah.
hear me, guys? Okay,
Yeah, you.
sorry. I'm not sure
Yes,
what's
Shubha.
happening with my network today. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, so I'm sorry. I let me ref rephrase what I said. I don't know how much you could hear. People are in the world of agile moving towards certified scrum master. People are saying I want to be a product owner, and that's why I switched back to this slide where I said a project manager would be doing this end to end, right? Scope, cost, time, quality, resource, communication, risk, and integration management, right? Now let us see what happens in the world of agile, right? Who controls the scope? Product owner. Who does the cost management? It's a dual uh, between product owner and scrum master. Who does time management? Scrum master. Who does quality management? Scrum master. Resource management? Product owner. Communication? Scrum master. Risk? Product owner. And who does this integration? It's a joint effort between product owner and scrum master, right? That's why anyone who has done project management earlier or who wants to get into project management definitely can integrate seamlessly between a product owner role or a scrum master role. But let's say I'm beginning my career into this management, and let's say I'm just scrum master. Will I be able to do what a product owner does? No, I still have to grow my skills. I still have to enhance my domain knowledge. I still have to make sure I am able to navigate between my role as product owner and scrum master. But a project manager is actually doing this role together as product owner and scrum master. That's to your question of why people are going to scrum master and product owner. It's probably because I would still say they are not aware of, it's going to be a definitely a much more tedious task for anyone to navigate from scrum master to a product owner role and vice versa. But a project manager has worked earlier in handling projects end to end. When I say end to end, starting from creation of project charter till project closure. If a project manager has done that, which includes map day, your risk assessment, your cost variance, your schedule variance, name it, right? They will be able to handle any role. So tomorrow, if the entire organization is moving to the world of agile with scrum methodology, Kanban, TDD, BDD, whatever it is, right? The person will be able to handle, who has done the project management, will definitely be able to handle any role that is there in the team in the world of agile. And why people are probably not doing PMP, right? I personally think it's probably because of the cost involved. There is examination fees of $555, and everything is in dollars, right? And for us Indians, when we do that conversion obviously into 70, so exam fees itself is $555, and if you are a member, it's $405. But for the membership itself, there is $139 to $150. I think right now PMI is giving some offer, so it's $139 and not $150. But otherwise, in general scenario, it's $150. And does it end there? No, to maintain PDUs is one thing where you can actually attend multiple webinars, seminars, and things like that. But also that you need to go back and renew your certification. You don't have to retake your exam, but you still have to renew your certification once in 3 years. I think there is cost involved again there. And because of this, personally, I feel people might back out from spending so much for PMP certification. But PMP is nowhere comparable to, don't quote me anywhere, guys, but it's nowhere comparable to the certification that happens, any other certification in the industry, right? I myself CSM, I'm a safe practitioner and a safe agilist, and the ease with which I have cleared is like one day of study, and then I have managed to score up to 96% in my exams, right? But PMP was not like that. And then what has it actually led me to? As I said, I am super confident that any industry, anything, it's probably waterfall or agile, I will be able to handle, and I'm sure I'll make that project a success. That's the confidence which has kicked in me after this certification. I am in IT throughout my career, but tomorrow, let's say I have to move to a construction industry. The underlying principle still remains the same, right? I still have to do all of this that is listed in the screen. Scope, cost, time, quality, everything has to be taken care, right? It is going to be industry agnostic. So for me, as a project manager, I will be able to handle any project in any industry across the globe. And I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, perfectly well defined. So you mean to say if I'm a PMP certified, right? So that will help me not only in IT industry but also in other industry firms with you, right?
Absolutely. So since we have 3 more minutes left, I will just give you an example. Is quality management way different than, let's say, flyover construction? I'm just picking up construction industry because that's something all of us can associate. Can you build a flyover amazingly quick enough, but then there is no quality and it collapses in 2 weeks? What's the use of that project, right? So whether I'm thinking in terms of IT, where I'm saying I will release the project into production in 2 weeks, but 10 defects per week in production, it translates exactly to the same thing, right? In 2 weeks, bridge collapses, flyover collapses. That's no success of a project. So once you get the concept, underlying and foundations of basic project management, which industry you handle, what is your domain, nothing matters. The underlying principle just remains the same. It might be quality you handle in IT, it could be in your educational institute, it could be in your construction, it could be in aviation. What happens in Boeing thing, the software that was written continued to tilt, and what was the end result, right? So there was no quality done. The aviation industry needs quality management as much as construction, as much as IT. So irrespective of which industry I go, the confidence with which a project manager executes versus rest of the team, there's a huge difference. Any other questions? Any other questions?
Looks like you're on dot with impediment, Shubha. So, any more questions, guys? I think that probably no questions. Like, if you have any more questions, you can post it now, clarify before you get out of the room, so that like we are clear in the head. Okay, I think so. That's it. That's it. Okay.
Yeah, and I think Sandeep, if you have any questions, I think Sandeep is available. You could reach out to him. You could reach out to me. I'll be glad to answer any queries around this. Sandeep, over to you.
Perfect.
Thank you, guys.
Perfect. That was amazing session. Thanks, Shubha. I know there were a bit of hiccups, but you really covered it well. I think so. Folks really waited patiently for you to come back and go ahead with it. Thanks a lot, audience, and as well Shubha on that. I think so. One key takeaway is like a PMP is not a cakewalk. It's gonna be a tough situation when you're studying and clearing the exam. But I think so. The end result will speak for itself, and hopefully. We'll see the niche skills that are coming in, and everything really will add up for the career pathway we have, right? uh, on the next steps, I think so. Now that you guys are aware what PMP can make you, you can it opens up for you to go ahead where you want to head your career. Like may that be an agilist, may that be in a different industry, since it's a industry agnostic, different industry. So now that I know you guys are excited and want to hear more about it, we from Refer Me have thought we need to have a thorough workshop, right? A 1 hour session is good to understand what at high level is, but I think so Shubha will be glad to run a workshop on this. That's what we are thinking of, with a 35 hours of training, which is included as part of a number of hours training, right? That is prescribed by PMI, and it will be further supported by continuous meetups and recaps, and we really need Shubha's support on that, and Shubha has agreed on that. Thanks for that. So we are planning for this in upcoming days, and as of now, since it includes some manpower and some effort that needs to go in, it has been quoted at 10,500 rupees. So that's the initial cost for the training that will be involved for this workshop what we are thinking of conducting. So one thing here, right, based on my own previous experiences, best investment you can do is might be a land, some can say, but I think so better than that is yourself, right? You invest on you and your knowledge. I think so that's gonna cherish forever, and you can probably be a leader in your own industry, and I would surely encourage you. So we are planning for the workshop in upcoming days, and that is quoted at 10,500 rupees. And there are couple of things we are seeing that we don't want to burden you guys as well. So there are a couple of things like early bird offer and referral and other stuff. So in case if you are an early bird, that is like if you can take a call, like take a call on your career and want to place it right here, right now, right? So if you can register by today, we have planned for, thanks to Reformi Group, right? We have planned to give a rebate of 1,000 discount on that. So there are a couple of things like this. So any queries on this, anything like you want to know more about workshop, please pitch in now. Like you can ask shootout question now, or if not, like I'll be available in the group as well, or you can direct message me. This is Sandeep. You have any questions as of now? Anybody?
Sandeep, yeah, Santosh from Hyderabad.
Hey
So
Santosh. Hey.
is it online course? How can I means is it what is the regular?
Yeah. Okay, so the is it will be an online course, because all are working professionals and we are placed across the country, and so it will be an online course happening, and that will be run over weekends, and it will be planned weekdays, because as it was told, it will be an intense session. It won't be it won't, I mean, other certificates we really appreciate it, right? But this PMP has the value associated and the investment associated with that. You heard it earlier as well. So it'll be thorough sessions that will be happening on online. It'll be weekends and scheduled weekdays. The following meetups and recaps which I mentioned, right? Because since we cannot probably digest a whole amount of project management resource, that's PMBOK, in one shot, right? We'll be having a recap session on, in case if we have any queries, or a regular meetups with a set of 3 or set of 2 with assignments. So that's gonna help. That's gonna be associated part of this training as well. So that is the overall plan, and it will be an online session. Thanks for that question, Santosh. Yeah.
And also, if I completed this course, can I eligible means is it contain like 36 hours something? So directly I can go to the apply and certify.
Right. So on that, right? So currently we'll be having a session from Shubha. That's like a more like a instructor-led session online, and there will be an online materials as well which you have to undergo, because as you remember what Shubha mentioned earlier, right? The PMP is a single source of details or the knowledge that is available. So that you need to undergo for 36 hours online. Post when you will get an eligibility to take the certification. So this is from the board itself. So you get the idea, right? If someone is pushing so much on what you have to undergo, it has its own value. I think so it's a great thing if you're planning on it. Yeah, that's the idea over here, Santo. I think so it clarifies your question, right?
Yes, correct. Thanks.
Yeah. Any more questions, guys?
Yeah, so there are some PDUs which are, I mean, before doing a PMP, Sandeep, I guess some PDUs are important, right? So
Right.
you guys
So
are
the
going
catch
to
over
give.
here is, if you are having a initial training, the first time getting certification includes training hours, that is 35 hours of trainings, which will be awarded based on the training that happens via Shubha, and as well as the online 36 hours which we need to undergo. Once we complete that certification, we are through. After 3 years, we need to get the recertified ourselves, so which includes PDUs. Then in 3 years we need to accumulate 60 PDUs. So once you get that, that is the post certification is what PDU comes into picture, Nitish.
That's right. Yeah.
Which include
So, yeah, for certification itself, you don't need PDUs. But to maintain your PMP certification, you need PDUs.
yeah. I think so. Once you get the certification, right, your network grows so vast. I mean, Shubha can answer that better because I have seen Shubha, right? So you get to meet to the PMI chapter or PMP folks. You get to train more people. You get to understand more. I think so that 60 PDUs might not be easy, but I think so. As the network grows, it comes in as part of your day in day out journey. So that's what I have seen with the PMP professionals. That answers your question, Nitish.
And yeah, perfectly. And what are the timings for a workshop?
Currently, the plan
Nitish, we
is
will.
there are
Yeah, go
yeah
ahead,
yeah
Sandeep. Yeah.
Yeah, sure, Shiba. Okay. The plan is we'll have a weekend session of 2 days, that is Saturday and Sunday. That'll be based on that'll be a rigorous 4 to 5 hours is what we have planned, and we'll be having additional weekday support because we need to cover this shrink down the timings as well, right? So based on the availability of the folks and based on like that'll be more of a discussed scheduled weekday appointments what we'll be having as part of discussion, Nitish. That's the plan we have. Would that answer your question?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So,
Okay.
I mean, you can consider me in.
Mhm. That's perfect. Okay. Thanks a lot. Anybody else? Anybody else right now excited to be part of this journey? Okay. You just want to pick up and say the experience on the webinar and probably anybody? Okay. Um, module, right? Hello? I'm audible?
Yeah, we can hear. Yeah, I can hear you, Sandeep.
That's
Very clear.
perfect. I just for a second thought like, am I not audible? Like had a network glitch or something. No worries. I think so. We had a good participants today, and I think so. There were some questions, and probably there might be many more questions coming in, right? Because it's kind of like a once you need to take a decision once, and it's a strong decision, and hopefully you guys take the right decision is what I'm just saying, wishing for. And that's majority of things what we wanted to cover today. Anything else, Shubha, you had in mind?
No, nothing else. I think we have covered everything that we wanted to. So as I said, in case there are any queries that you would want us to address, please do let us know and we'll be glad to do that.
Sounds perfect, Shubha. Anybody, any queries, reach out to me. I'll be available on the group. You can post it in the group or you can directly message me, and we can take it up from there. Let it be there on PMP or anything related to how you can take the course, timing, duration, anything. Okay. Uh, Sounds perfect. With that, I'm gonna stop recording to start off, and we'll be revisiting the